Sakuna, how are you? 2 a.m. in the morning. Well, good morning. TNT Barbecue, what's going on, Brother Thyron? Give me 1 second. All right. How you guys doing tonight? Lance, what's going on, buddy? Oh, just got home from work. Going live. Papa C, how you be? Trying to get my computer going. It went through some update, so I couldn't get on immediately. It was kind of crazy. But yeah, it's another hump day, another live chat. Thanks, Brother T. Appreciate you, man. You got a nice smoker, my friend. All right. So let me get on my laptop. Casual bass guy. What's going on, man? Stay in here, casual bass guy. Good to see you on, buddy. All right, guys, let me power up my laptop just to... Oh, gosh. I'll get this. Jacqueline and Dad, Justin C, how are you? All right, here we go. So Justin C, how are you? Francisco Maldonado, saludos from Florida. Saludos, amigo. Man, Byron, our Cowboys are falling apart, man. I don't know what's up with that, bro. It was a tough game, man. We tried to come back too late. You know, Dak Prescott was very off of his target, Mr. Inconsistency himself. Our offensive line wasn't protecting him. Our defensive line couldn't stop the running game of the Packers. You know, Aaron Jones is from El Paso. You know, I'm not a Packers fan by any means, but you know he's from El Paso, so he had an amazing game. He just ran over our offense, and you know, it was a challenging game, man. It sucks, but hey, it is what it is, man. Everybody's a professional, right? And it was just a little disheartening, but it is what it is. We got more games. Let me see here. Casual bass guy, is that the man cave? Yeah, I've been working on my man cave, actually. I am in my man cave. I had a giant mess in here, so I've cleaned it up. Hung a TV on the wall, got some leather recliners and stuff, and just been fixing it up. Sitting on a table that I made. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see that table that I made out of that black pipe. So this is where I'm going to do my lives. And obviously I'm finishing up with my man cave. There's a bunch of camping stuff up there that I need to sell since we have our RV now. I've had that for years, but little target there for my bow and arrow. So all of that will get cleaned up. All right, let me see. Budo Raiders. What's going on, Joe from Black Hole Barbecue? Guys, check out his channel, man. He's a savage. I watched his channel a long time ago, and the guy's a savage cooker, man. He does a lot of Santa Maria cooking. He's a Raiders fan, but I can bypass that. Let me see. Who else is in here? Let me go back here. I'm going to go back in my chat here. Da-da-da-da. God, I hate this laptop. The mouse is like off-centered. It kind of throws me off here. So let me see. Black Hole Barbecue. Gary Signs. What's going on from New Mexico? How are you, man? You're my neighbor. Blevin, Tom's Food Factory. Eastwind. What's going on, Chris? Hello from AutoZone. Shane. Oh, you're funny. That's the ozone is what we call that, bro. Miss Rexy, how are you? Welcome. Shane. Oh, you're funny. I thought you were calling me babe for a minute there. Papa C is in the house. All right, I think I'm caught up here in my chat. Just everybody saying hi to each other. Cheers, happy hump day. Ice cold Lone Star. Yeah, thank you for that, Jack and Dad. My boy Chris, what up, stud muffin? Jacob, what's going on, man? It's not a Bud. No, man, Budweiser will give me a hangover. I'll get a hangover just taking a sip out of Budweiser. I know a lot of people that drink Budweiser, man. That's some strong beer. So, guys, today, we're going to talk about pit maintenance, okay? And again, this isn't a one-sided conversation, so feel free to ask questions and let me know what kind of pits you guys have. I know a lot of you guys and what you guys cook on. A lot of us have Weber kettles. We'll talk about the kettle, talk about pellet smokers, talk about offsets, and we'll get into the maintenance part of it. Something that not a whole lot of people do. I think that maintenance is something that's overlooked a lot and not taken seriously, and I think it should. Okay, and we'll go over what I do, and we can talk about what you guys do, and my recommendations and your recommendations, and that's why we do this, right? Just to kind of learn off of each other, feed off of each other's information. So we're going to talk about that today. Jacob Montaño says Lone Star good choice. I know a couple of people have a Lone Star grill. Nice grills. But guys, we'll talk about the pellet smoker first, okay? And this is going to apply to any pellet smoker brand that you guys might have. Obviously, I'm partial to Yoder. I've had a Yoder for forever. And my first Yoder, I actually sold it. It was just on a backyard cart, and I wanted a competition cart. Yoder does a really nice job of painting them, and I'm a Chevrolet fan, so I wanted my cart that Chevrolet orange, and so now my flat top is orange, my Frontiersman is orange, my 640 is orange. It's got an orange cart, so love it. So Shane's got a question. Doing my third brisket this weekend before trimming at 17 pounds. What is the best way? The best way I would cook it. So Shane, out of a 17-pound brisket, I will probably trim 3 or 4 pounds of fat, and some of the trimming. Trim off the edges, okay? Trim off the edges on the long side, and trim off the front. Square it up. Take that big hump of fat off of the fat cap. And trim the majority of the fat off the top. Don't worry about that silver skin. You can leave that on. This isn't a competition. That stuff is going to cook down and disappear on you. I've never had a problem. I've done it with removing a silver skin and leaving a silver skin on. Put enough of your rub. If it's a salty rub, just be careful with that. But a good rub, layer it on kind of thick. I like to cook at 275, Shane, 275 to 300. And don't wrap until you have a nice color. That's a question that gets asked a lot. Don't wrap until you have that bark that you want. Once you have that bark, who cares what the temperature is? Could be 145, it could be 175, it could be 180, whatever it is. At that point, go ahead and wrap it. I use butcher paper myself. And then I will go until the brisket is nice and tender, until it probes tender, which is usually for me right at about 200 degrees. Yes, you can have a tight brisket at 200 degrees, but usually about 200 degrees, 201 degrees is when I start to pull it off of the smoker and let it rest for at least an hour. If you can go 2 hours, even better. It's going to continue to cook. All the juice is going to go flowing back into the meat. And then my mouth is getting watery. I haven't cooked a brisket in a while. But let it rest and then slice it up. So let me see. Let me go back and see if anybody's asking any questions. Here's a mouse. I need to get me a wireless mouse. I'm done with this mouse on this laptop. Let me see. Where can I find a slab of beef, short ribs in El Paso? Hector, there's a place, man, on Zaragoza. It's really next to my house. What is it called? Is it Frontier Food? No, not Frontier Foods. There's a meat market on Zaragoza, and just north of Pebble Hills. Okay, there's a meat market right there, and they have some really nice beef ribs. You know, they're nicely marbled. That's where I bought them before. I've had really good luck with them. Obviously, I'm cooking Midland Meat Company meats. If you go to Midland, you can get some there. But I think it's Frontier Foods, if I'm not mistaken. Check them out, Hector. Let me see. You know who's got good ribs too and I saw them last week, is Costco. Okay, Costco's got some really nice beef ribs. Not always, but they've got them. I just want a Yoder, says Rexy. That's funny. Leave the fat on, Shane. Leave some of it on. And depending on where your heat source is at, put that towards the heat source. Put the fat towards the heat source. If your heat's coming from the top, put your fat cap up. If the heat source is on the bottom, cook it fat side down. Black Hole Barbecue is a cool dude. Just subbed his channel. Oh, nice. Blevin says he's going to get a Yoder logo and put it on his Weber. Man, I tell you, that thing will work. They work good already. They work a lot nicer. Oh, look at you, Casual Bass Guy. So guys, since I'm talking about Casual Bass Guy, I want you guys to check out his channel, okay? So when I was in Kansas a couple of weeks ago, I went to pick up my Yoder. I was staying at a Holiday Inn Express, and there's a small lake or pond, I guess, if you want to call it, behind it. And my wife and I took a selfie there. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that. I posted a picture of my wife, said some nice things about my wife and stuff. So the next morning, I see this guy in the trunk of his car, or no, not in the trunk. He's got the door open. He's got some fishing poles leaning on the side of his car. I'm like, where's this guy gonna fish at? So we end up talking, and he goes, hey, I saw your truck, and it said, you know, Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. He's like, man, I like that. So we got to talking. I said, hey, where are you gonna fish? He goes, oh, right here. There's bass in that little pond right there. So he just loaded a video, I think it was Monday afternoon, where he was at that hotel, and he caught this jumbo bass that came out of a freaking small little pond. And so I met him up there in Kansas. Really cool dude. He's just started his channel, guys. If you guys are into fishing, check him out. He's got some good advice. You know, I wish you success. I really do, man. He's got a very young channel. I think 41 subscribers, something like that. And, you know, check him out. Support his channel if you're into fishing, and, you know, ask any questions. He's just starting out, but he's got experience in fishing. So, man, check him out, please, guys. Please check him out. All right. So welcome again, Mr. Bass Guy. Zaragoza and Pebble Hills. Yes, sir. So just north of that, Hector, you'll find that. Somebody's calling somebody beautiful, and I hope it's not me. Nice. Casual Bass Guy, you got to do a cooking video. A lot of these channels are cooking videos, man. So you got to cook some of that fish. I don't know if you can keep some of those bass that you catch, but I've seen you kind of testing out, guys. Just like we test out spatulas or uh, shredders, meat shredders. He kind of does this little uh, test on lures and stuff like that, and baits and stuff. So check him out, man. He's got a good channel. King Kilbasa, what's going on, buddy? So, guys, I want us. Grumpy old Gringo is in the house. Raspberry. We don't have shots, buddy. We got beer. So, guys, I want to talk about maintenance, okay? And I'm gonna kind of ignore the chat here for a little bit, but you guys can continue to chat. So when it comes to pellet smokers, okay, I'm going to talk about my pellet smoker, but the techniques apply to any manufacturer out there. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I'm partial Yoda because it works and it does an amazing job of smoking my meats. So when it comes to maintenance, guys, okay, you got to treat your smokers, and I know I did a video when I touched up the front of my Yoda because the paint it wasn't peeling out. It was kind of bubbled up a little bit, but that was my fault because I'd spilled some barbecue sauce on the front of it and I didn't wipe it off immediately. So barbecue sauce and the 300 and some odd degrees of that cooking chamber or higher, because it's kind of close to the bottom of that pit, it starts to bubble up the paint. So I touched it up and painted it and did the whole 9 yards. But guys, maintenance, okay? You will not go out to your car on a hot sunny day, it's 100 degrees, and pour barbecue sauce all over the hood and leave it there for weeks on end, because what's going to happen, you're going to ruin your paint. Guys, same thing applies to your smokers, whether it's a Weber or I don't care if whatever pellet smoker you've got or smoker you got, you spill something on it, wipe it down, okay, especially on pellet smokers. So when it comes to maintenance, when I'm smoking meats on my Yoda Y640, I've got a wet rag, and I don't have one here with me, but I've got a wet rag, just kind of moist with water. And if I spill some grease on it or some of the grease runs off the bottom front of it, I'll wipe it down immediately, guys. I do not let that stuff sit on there because it will cake on there. It's going to ruin your paint. Same thing with your vehicles. If you don't think it's going to ruin the paint on your vehicles, guys, you're sadly mistaken. Go crack an egg on your hood and leave it there for 3 weeks. It's going to discolor the paint, okay? So make sure that you guys are out there, when you're on your pellet smokers, that you spill something on the outside of it, wipe it down. You spill something on your shelves, wipe it down. Okay, simple maintenance like that. Now, when it comes to maintenance on my Yoder YS640, my pellet smoker, I don't vacuum it or clean it out after every cook, and there's a reason why for that. When I shut my smoker down, the Yoder Y640 goes through the cool down period, which means the fans are going to continue to run. It's going to stop feeding pellets, okay, into the hopper. And it's going to keep blowing air just to kind of let that excess heat come out the exhaust, the cool down process. If I let that rest for 30 minutes and I go to vacuum it, chances are I might still have some lit pellets, okay? So I don't want any of that to get in my vacuum cleaner because I'm going to get into bigger and bigger problems. I always vacuum out my smoker, my Y640, before every cook. So it'll be a week later or whatever, or maybe the next day. At that point, I will vacuum it out. I have a small shop vac. I vacuum out all the ashes on the chamber on the bottom, take out the fire pot, vacuum under the fire pot, make sure it's nice and clean, okay? Make sure you're doing that with your pellet smoker, because what's going to happen is if you just shut off your smoker, come back the next day, and you turn it back on, it's going to start feeding pellets. Well, guess what's in that fire pot? You have some spent or burnt pellets in that hopper. Now you're dropping fresh pellets on top of that carbon buildup of those pellets, and it's going to take a lot of heat just to light these raw pellets on the top. Okay, so I highly recommend that you guys vacuum it out, get that char off of there. You're going to create a lot of smoke, and you actually, since the pellets are coming down into the fire pot, you can actually build up a fuse into the hopper. Then your hopper catches on fire. All the pellets in your hopper are on fire. Guys, that is a very well-known problem. It happens to every pellet smoker out there, but a lot of it is user error. Okay, so I highly recommend, if you have your pellet smoker, don't worry about what the instructions say. If it says to vacuum it out every 2 or 3 cooks, guys, do it every single cook. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Your smoker's going to last a lot longer, and you won't end up with a hopper fire. Now, the only other maintenance that I do to my Yoder Y640 is you will start to get buildup on the walls, the cooking chamber of that smoker. You will start to build up layers and layers of grease and smoke, so it's like caking on the walls. Well, I take a plastic spatula, okay, and I take a plastic spatula even on my big offset. So I will take a plastic spatula and scrape the walls, just scrape all that crap off of the walls, and use your same shop vac to vacuum all that carbon, all that carbon buildup. Just scrape the lid, scrape the walls, scrape everything off of the walls, and vacuum it out. If the surface is dry, spray some canola oil on the walls. If not, just leave it as is. You're not going to have any problems. Now, I'll say this: it doesn't matter what you're cooking on. Let's say that you're cooking a brisket, guys. A brisket, it consists of a lot of water. Okay, it's made up of a lot of water. Our jobs as pit masters is to try to keep the majority of that water inside of that brisket. Well, you're going to lose water. You're going to lose moisture that comes out of that brisket. You're going to lose fat that comes out of it. It's going to drip all over the cooking chamber of the smoker. Well, guys, we know that water and oil don't mix, right? So, especially if you're in a cold climate or a desert climate like I am, make sure that you're wiping that stuff down. Make sure that your smoker is slanted, your pellet smoker is slanted so the grease runs out. What's going to happen, guys, is water is going to build up inside the cooking chamber. You're not going to see it. You're going to develop a rust spot. Okay, and that rust is building up, and here pretty soon you'll end up with a hole on the outside of your smoker if you don't take care of it. So make sure that you're scraping the walls, vacuuming all that stuff off, because you will get moisture inside the cooking chamber, which could cause problems down the road. Those of you guys that store your smokers in the winter, you know what I'm talking about. So in the winter, your temperatures, throughout the day might get in the 50s, 60s. At night, it'll get in the 40s, 30s, 20s, depending on where you're at, right? Sometimes below zero. Well, those temperature fluctuations create moisture, okay? And that's the same thing for tires. That's why tires tend to deflate in the colder climate. It's not that the air is escaping, it changes the consistency of the air, especially inside of a cooking chamber, inside of a doesn't matter if it's a pellet smoker or an offset smoker. Those fluctuations in temperature is going to mess with things, okay? So you will start to develop rust on the inside. If you're going to store your smoker, make sure you spray it down with some oil so you don't run into those problems. Guys, real simple maintenance like that. If I start to get if my paint chips, let's say on my Yoder Y640, I will sand it down and just spray that little spot. Yoder, when you buy any Yoder smoker, they'll give you a small spray can of that black paint. Just sand it down a little bit and spray that little corner. That way you don't have a bigger problem down the road. So guys, that is it. Real simple maintenance. I see people crying about the paint on the Yoder. And to those people, I say, take care of your smoker. Those people, if you go back and look at their pictures and their profile, they got their smoker sitting outside, the sun's hitting it, there's 3 feet of snow on top of it, it's rained on, and then the sun comes out the next day and snow the next day. They start to have paint issues and they blame it on the smoker. Guys, it's not the smoker's problem that the weather's beating up that smoker. And if all you can do is if you have no choice but to leave it out in the environment like that, which a lot of people do, take care of it. You're going to have to maintain that pit a little bit more, especially on the paint side. So if your paint is peeling or it comes off or flakes off, guys, it's maintenance on your part. Just a little bit of maintenance on your part is going to go a long way. So, and that is it. Okay, that is it. Now, one more thing. On my stack, on the YS640, you will build up pools of oil in there. So the smoker's going to tell you when you need to clean that stack. You'll start to drip oil on the shelf on the right side. You'll start to get little drops of oil. If you see those drops of oil, you have oil buildup inside that stack. Okay, so take that stack off, wipe it with some paper towels, spray something on it, spray water in it, wash it down, whatever you have to do. Put it back on there. It's going to stop that oil dripping. Okay, so again, just simple maintenance, guys. It's not the smoker's fault. Again, it's a little bit of maintenance goes a long way. So let me see. I'm not going to go back into the chat because I saw the chat rolling. Bottle Cap Barbecue. If you want to respect the pit master, respect the smoker. Amen to that. Try not changing the oil in your car. It's not going to last you very long. Maintenance, guys. Change the air filter. Okay? Change the fuel filter. Put some good gas. Put some injection cleaner in it. Everything requires maintenance, even when we do, right? We go to the doctor and get checked up. Sometimes, hey, I need you to take these pills for 3 months or whatever. So, let me see. Hey, Booger, what's going on? Looks like she's leaving. Mr. Oso Barbecue. What's going on, buddy? Greenhorn Barbecue. Mr. Todd. Cooking with Rexy. Man, you guys are talking about part stores, man. I work for O'Reilly. In fact, I should put a flag over my shoulders. You guys know where I work. I have a flag here somewhere. So guys, any questions on the pellet smoker before I move on? Rob S., you could have met me somewhere in El Paso. Rob S., I work for O'Reilly Auto Parts. And I was a technician for Firestone for a few years too. So I've been with O'Reilly for 20 years. Before that, I worked at Firestone for a while. And again, with O'Reilly for 20 years now. Sassy, what's going on? Miss Deborah? Caked on grime is just gross. Yes. Miss Deborah, Sassy Kitchen Queen. So one thing that I found when you don't clean your smoker, all of that buildup starts to flake off. It'll flake off by itself. The smoker is going to say, hey, you're not going to clean me. I'm going to start flaking off. So all that stuff starts to flake off. Well, if you're cooking something, that stuff's going to fall on your burgers or chicken, whatever it is that you happen to be smoking. Just clean it off, guys. Save yourself that nastiness from falling on your protein, whatever it is that you're smoking. Any questions? He asked after missing 500 lines of comments. Raspberry, I am sorry. Yeah, exactly, Rexy. David Nelson. Yes, David, I am loving it, man. I'm actually looking forward to smoking on that smoker. Actually, you can see it playing in the video behind me. I'm cooking for the first time this weekend. I'm excited beyond belief. It's Wednesday, 2 more days, and man, I get to use that smoker. I can't wait, guys. I cannot wait. I'm cooking a brisket, some beef ribs. Oh man, it's gonna be good. Watch out for that video. Excuse me. Let me see. Lance Jambeck, the Yoder's the best of the bunch. In my opinion, yes, Lance. You asked for my opinion? Absolutely. Yoder is an animal on its own. I just toured the Yoder factory, and I got to tell you guys, when they were taking me on that tour, they said, hey, well, a welding shop is maybe half a mile away. You want to go see it? I said, yes, I want to go see it. So we went over there, took my wife and the fine folks at Yoder. We took a tour of that place. And I got to tell you, when you walk in there and you see about 12 men just welding, they're welding their tails off. And they're welding those 640s, and they're welding the flat tops and the Kingmans and the 480s and the Wichitas. Man, it's something about that made in the USA quality product that, man, when I saw that, I was like, man, that is nice. It's nice to see good quality products being made in the USA, still being made in the USA, not in some plant in China. You know, there's not robots welding these things together, guys. There's welders out there that are sweating. They got their welding hats on, and they got their leather vest on, and they're welding away. And I got to tell you, if you've never seen a Yoder, the welds on a Yoder, especially that Frontiersman that's in my backyard, man, guys, it's like dimes on dimes that are being stacked on top of each other. The welds are that good. The quality of the component, the thickness of the metal, the just everything about it, guys. That place, the Yoder manufacturing plant, is an amazing place. So yes, Yoder is the best. I'm not going to talk down any other pellet smoker. You'll never hear me say that. Okay. I think there's a place for different smokers in different backyards. Okay, I will tell you that. But I think that I own the best smoker in the industry, the pellet smoker. Okay. Period. Hands down. No comparison. It's an argument. It's a Chevrolet versus Ford. I'm a Yoder fan. All right. Um, yeah, Lance, that 640 is a beast, man. It's an animal. I use it a lot. Easy to use. Using Joe's coupon codes. Anybody ask Joe why? What? Anybody ask Joe why we're in his garage? Actually, we're in my man cave. I'm converting my man cave, and this is where I'm at. And it's nice and cool outside, so it's not hot in my garage. Just perfect. I'm still not done. I've got a little bit of a mess still. You know, nothing too crazy, but I'm organizing all my stuff. That's why I've got all my barbecue stuff here. Um, you know, got spatulas and stuff here on this table. I got taco holders. I mean, I'm putting all of this stuff in a nice shelf, and I'm gonna put some curtains around it, some black curtains so you can't see it and stuff. So we're in my man cave, and it's a work in progress. Oh yeah, man, pastrami dino ribs. I don't think I've ever had that, King. Yes, you can buy a car for the price of the Yoda Frontiersman. You can buy a decent car. Um, my man cave looks like a garage. It's a converted garage. Um, I got my deep freezer. I got my fridge, my toolbox. You know, I got my TV back here. Got three nice leather sofas back here, movie style leather recliners. I insulated my garage door. You can see from this corner over here. I insulated that to keep the heat out and the cold out. So I just insulated that so it's nice and quiet in here. There's not a big echo. Hopefully there's not a big echo coming out on your side. So yeah. Hey, who said that, by the way? It was Raspberry Rock. Russell. Hey man, let me see your garage, bro. You don't have a garage in your cabin. By the way, guys, check out Raspberry Rock's channel. Russell and his wife they live off the grid in a cabin, and looks like a pretty nice place. He goes live every Friday for like 40 hours straight. Last weekend he had 3 male strippers at his cabin. It was kind of comical. I think his wife hired those 3 male strippers that were with him at his cabin. It was pretty funny stuff. And thanks to my mods for monitoring the chat. You know what, Chris? At Eastwind, one of my buddies was telling me about that I should put a pole here in the center of the room, and that would be funny, dude. A stripper pole, man, that would be hilarious, dude. That would be hilarious. Please don't check me out. Oh my god. Jambo J3 USA made. Where do you get your splits? So Barbecue Ranger, the Jambo's a nice pit. I'm not gonna say anything bad about that Jambo. And I had an El Rey. That was an amazing smoker as well. So, do you live here in El Paso? If so, there's a firewood place here in El Paso. There's a couple of places here in El Paso. I get it from a gentleman. His name is Chris Miller. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, send me a message and I'll give you his information. In fact, Friday he's dropping half a cord. He's dropping off half a cord here at my house because I'm running low, post oak. So he's bringing that to me on Friday. So hit me up on Instagram or Facebook and I'll give you his contact information. Or if you live close to El Paso, it's worth the trip. Okay, he's about $105 less than the closest or the other guy. So he does a good job. He can stack it for you at your house if you want to. He'll deliver it if you're in El Paso. So reach out to me. I need a disco ball. Yeah, Russell. Russell has a disco ball in his cabin. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat stuff. I will freaking pay to see that, Joe. Thank you for that. Chris maintains himself in garage. Yeah, and you know what? So does Kent at Daddy Dutch Barbecue. He's always in his garage, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, this is kind of a manly place to be, right? All right, so guys, the next thing I want to talk about is maintenance on your Weber. So I have a Weber, and real easy to maintain. Okay, the Webers, you will get buildup on the lid, you know, depending on how often you're cooking on it. And that's real easy. Again, the Webers, for some reason, the lids don't get as dirty as the bottom half of the smoker. I've seen people put aluminum foil in there. It kind of helps. It kind of helps uh, with the heat if you put foil around it to kind of keep things clean. But guys, there's really nothing to it. The only thing that I do to my Weber is I take, again, just a spatula and a rag, clean off the ashes on the bottom, let them fall into the catch can on the bottom, and that's it. Your grates, your Weber kettle, scrub your grates. If you get some, actually the grates that the Weber kettle comes with, I think, me personally, I think they're kind of cheap. I put my Vortex in there and I cook some things on there, and it's already kind of bowing, and I don't know, I don't understand it. I think it's kind of cheap. I know that they sell other models out there. They sell these big cooking grates as well that I think are cast iron, or some pretty thick metal. And I need to get me one of those. That way, I don't have those warping issues on it. Keep the outside of that Weber kettle as clean as the inside, okay? Or maybe not as clean as the inside, but wash down the outside, because you will get rust spots on the outside of that Weber kettle. You'll start to see them, okay? Little rust spots that come through the paint. Just use a good cleaner, good wax. Make sure you keep that nice shine on the outside. Check out Tom Horseman. Tom Horseman has a bunch of Weber kettles. Baby Back Maniac has a bunch of kettles. Trust me, they are keeping the outside of their kettles clean. So a little bit of maintenance on the outside of those kettles as well, guys. Don't think that just because it's a $150 grill or smoker, it's actually a versatile grill, that you don't have to clean it. Clean the inside, clean the outside, wipe the legs down, keep it nice and clean. I think that things will last you a lot longer if you keep it clean. Okay, so make sure that you guys are doing that. So that's it on the Weber kettle, guys. There's really not a whole lot of maintenance. Dump out your ash can on the bottom before every use, because you don't want to start to build up, because then it's going to start to pile up. The ashes aren't ever going to fall through, and it might mess with your fire in there. So make sure you keep that clean. What is Raspberry saying that people are laughing? That's hilarious. Is it still talking about disco ball? Sounds like a girl being warping. Chillin', Rob D, what's going on, buddy? I don't have a Weber Smoky Mountain, okay, but that was one of my very first pits, okay, and I absolutely loved it. The briskets at that thing, I would cook on that thing, and the pork shoulders that I would cook on that, man, I cooked on that Weber kettle, and this was a long time ago, guys. We're talking over 20 years ago. I just met my wife, and man, 25 years ago, I think. Yeah, so it's been a long time when I had a Weber Smoky Mountain. I would leave it out in the rain. I never paid any attention. Everything that I've talked about so far, I did back when I was younger, because again, I wasn't that familiar with it, and maybe I wasn't into it as much as I am now. But it ended up just falling apart on me, and I ended up throwing it in the trash. I had used it so much, and the heat, it kind of messed with the paint. And technology has gone a long way too now. So I think that they're better built now. They're gonna last you a lot longer. So I don't have one right now, but I started with one a long time ago. I used to fill the water pan and put some onions and some sauce in there, to kind of get that moisture under my brisket and my pork shoulders and stuff. Good stuff. Don't do much of my Weber on the inside, except after wings. Okay, lots of grease. Use a plastic putty knife on that. Inside of the lid too, when carbon builds up. Otherwise, heat and clean up. Exactly, Big Al. Weber kettles, I think, are really easy to clean, man. And for being such an inexpensive grill or smoker or versatile grill, whatever you want to call it. There's a fly in here. It's so easy to clean. I don't know if it's the paint that they're using. I don't know if it's like a ceramic coating. I don't know what it is, but it's like stuff doesn't stick to it. You're right. The inside is very little maintenance. Get yourself a putty knife, a flexible putty knife like this. Scrape the sides. You're good to go. Real easy. Is James in here from Amen McClaim? Somebody said, "What's going on, James?" It's enamel coating. Yeah, that stuff is pretty strong, guys, and I think they bake it on, man. Because that paint, man, it lasts a long time. I keep mine covered. Mine's in my backyard covered. All right. All right, so let's move into offset smokers. You guys can see that video playing in the background there. That's my new Yoder Frontiersman offset smoker. And I've had other offset smokers in the past. You know, I used to have a char broiler, just a real cheap one. Look at Rexy's big comment right there. Exactly, Rexy. And so I've had really inexpensive offsets, and I've had some really expensive offsets. That baby that you see in that video, that's the most expensive pit that I've had. I had my El Rey, which I absolutely loved, but I think I was limited to what I could do in it because of the space. It had one shelf, one small shelf. This smoker back here has two really large shelves. And I want to talk about maintenance on those, okay, those smokers themselves. So same thing as I started that conversation with my pellet smoker. I don't clean out the ash when I'm done cooking with it. I clean out the ash when I'm ready to cook on it again. In fact, I open up that firebox, sweep all the ash out. I got just a regular, I don't have it here. I think it's in the backyard. I got a regular broom. It's just a handheld broom, just a brush. Get all of that ash out. Excuse me. Clean all the ash out. I don't make sure it's spotless, okay? But then at that point, I will literally wash the outside of my pit. Okay? If it's just a little dusty, I'll just take a microfiber cloth, wet it a little bit, and wipe down the entire smoker. And I do this with my YS640 as well. I will wipe it down for a couple of reasons. I like to cook on a clean pit, and I'm recording a video, okay? So I want my pits to look nice. I have seen videos, and I'm not gonna mention any names, but I have seen videos of people cooking outside on their Weber kettles, on their pellet smokers, on their offsets, and the lids have bird crap on the outside of them. They've got some built up char on one corner of the grate, and I'm like, holy cow, clean your grill, man. And I don't want anybody to say that about my videos. When you see my videos, my grills are gonna be clean, just like you see that cooking chamber right there. So I wipe, and people always ask, there's always a question, man, what do you do to keep your YS640 looking so good? You've had it for so long. Guys, I just wipe it down. You know, if it's real dirty, let's say that I cooked something greasy and maybe I got some on the paint, and there might be some bird poop on the shelf or whatever, I will use dish soap. Okay, just a little bit of dish soap. I have my wet rag, just maybe 3 or 4 drops in there, and I wipe the entire smoker down. I wet it, rinse it off, and I come back and dry it, almost like washing the car. I will go into that much detail, and I'll do it even on my big Frontiersman that I just got, okay? If it's dirty, I will wash it because I want my smokers to be nice and clean. And I highly recommend that you guys do that. Now, the cooking chamber and an offset, the only maintenance that you need to do there, which by the way, I meant to ask this question. I was thinking about this today as I was thinking about what I was gonna talk about. Those of you guys that have an offset or a smoker with a expanded metal, and if those of you guys that don't know what expanded metal is, it's that metal that you see on barbecue grills. It's kind of like diamonds, just diamonds, you know, got diamond shaped little slots all over the place. That's expanded metal. What are you guys using to clean those? I've got a brush that I bought from Lowe's, and I think it's a Weber brush. And it's got a long handle, and it's got a little knob on the top, and I just kind of, you know, scrape those grates. But I haven't found a good wire brush. Now, they say not to use wire brushes because if it's not clean and somebody eats that little piece of wire that breaks off, because sometimes it will break off, that it's bad for that person. It could kill a person, really. So you have to be very careful. And I will look at my grates, guys. When I clean it, I will actually look at my grates to make sure I don't have any little wire bristles that stay behind, okay? So you got to be very careful with that. But what are you guys using? I want to see your brushes, man. Because all this time that I've been smoking and cooking and stuff, I haven't found a grill brush that I actually like. Okay, and I'm talking about something that I can scrape that expanded metal down with. So let me know what you guys are using. in the chat right now because I just can't find a good one. And if somebody knows of a good one, so Rob D, Mexican right there. Onions and lime. So yes, you'll see it a lot in the Hispanic communities. When we're grilling, we'll take an onion and just kind of wipe everything down, kind of sanitize everything, and it gives the meat a good flavor. It's got a good aroma that comes out of it too when you do that. But what are you guys using? Let me know in the chat. Let me see. Let me read some comments. The dirty, the better. You know, Rexy, that's funny that you say that. The dirty, the better, because I've seen people cook chicken on a smoker or a grill, and they put it on there and it's sizzling and stuff, and then they go to flip it and it's all black. It's got these like these char marks on it. Those aren't char marks, guys. That's grease from 2 cooks ago. They hadn't cleaned the grill in so long. Oh, you're funny, Russell. Let me see. Now you feel bad about your pits not being clean. Big Frog, don't worry about it, man. Use a wire brush with water while the grates are hot. It cleans up easier than you season when dry. Okay. You use a metal putty knife. Interesting, Chris. A metal putty knife. You're talking about a knife like this, but metal. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, actually. Wait, those aren't char marks. Pressure washing it. So Rob D, yeah, you know, you want to leave some of that seasoning on there, okay? But I just want to get some of the big chunks of char that might be laying on the grill, and I'll get some. I use paper towels, but you don't want to use paper towels, especially on expanded metal, because you'll have these little pieces of towel that get stuck to the grate, so you don't want to do that. But I've used one of those terry cloths. Okay, I'll wet it down, especially with the grates hot, like somebody mentioned right now. After I brush it down, and I will go back and just wipe down the entire grate surface just to clean a lot of that stuff up. But I'm still looking for a nice big brush. I don't know what you guys are using. You can just burn all the crud off your grates. Says Simple Man. By the way, thanks for joining in Simple Man's Barbecue. Guys, check out his channel. He's another young channel, but I think he's got a good thing going on. So yes, Simple Man says burn it off. So one of the things that I've been thinking about doing, Simple Man, is, I think it's Jason, right? Simple Man. I don't want to be calling you Simple Man, but I think it's Jason. Is getting a torch, like what you're talking about. Just burn it off with a nice, like a weed burner or something like that. I want to get me a nice big torch, and you can burn that stuff off. Just kind of pass your torch through there, maybe brush it off or whatever you have to do. But I think that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. So thanks for that information. Rexy, how do you clean your grates? Exactly, right? Sassy Kitchen Queen and Greenhorn Barbecue. Check out their channel, guys. They do an amazing job, man. They got some good videos out there, and I think they do a freaking amazing job in cooking, man. They've done some amazing cooks, from burgers to big roast, and they did a big chub. I think like a meatloaf. Man, they do some good stuff. Good channel. You buy new ones? Okay, so Rexy says that she cleans it after she cooks on it. Yeah, Jason. Okay. Oxyacetylene rig tomorrow. I will give it a go with the oxyacetylene rig tomorrow on the Weber kettle. Says Brian Bistro. Man, don't be doing that with a Weber kettle. You might end up with a paperweight, man. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. What's going on, Rick's Barbecue? Mr. Tecate. A weed burner for sure. Says 589 barbecue. By the way, thanks for joining us. I think that's the first time I've seen you in my chat. Appreciate you joining in, buddy. So yeah, that weed burner, I don't know what you call them, guys. Flamethrowers or torches, or I think they use them for weeds, right? They use them to burn weeds. I'm gonna get me one. I don't know where I'm gonna get one, but probably Tractor Supply, right? I think Tractor Supply will carry that. So guys, I think that the offset, to be honest with you, the offset is a lot easier to clean than even my pellet smoker. My pellet, it's not that it's hard, but it's so big. And what I'll do is on the if this is the cooking chamber of my offset, I will go this way, okay, with my scraper and get all of that char and stuff off of there. Let it fall on the bottom, scoop it out with the same spatula, throw it into the trash can, and whatever's left over, you know, I might throw a little bit of water, put some pan in the drain. Like my frontiersman has a giant ball valve. I'll throw a little bit of hot water in there, and that grease will just drain into that bucket, throw that out in the trash. It's that simple. Actually, I keep my ash can. All of my ashes, I have a little trash can. You guys may have seen it in my video. So I will dump that dirty water into those ashes. It's gonna absorb it. By the way, those ashes, guys, if you spill oil in your garage, go grab a handful of that ash. God, I gotta be careful with what I say. Go grab a handful of that ash and sprinkle it all over your oil. Best freaking stuff ever. Okay, then pick it up and throw it in the trash. That simple. Acid works miracles, says Rexy. So guys, real simple maintenance. I think the message today is to maintain your pits. Doesn't matter if it's a Weber kettle, which by the way, somebody gave me a super chat earlier, and I think it's Canadian money. So it had to have been Russell. Russell, thank you for that super chat. It's not expected, but I definitely appreciate it. Okay, appreciate you doing that. But simple maintenance on your pits, guys. Like I mentioned earlier, you maintain your vehicle, you change the oil, you change the filters, you wash it, you wax it. Man, I spent a lot of money to keep my truck looking nice and clean. Okay, so I'm not gonna go fry an egg on the hood or throw barbecue sauce all over it or throw bacon grease on the paint, because it's not gonna make, it's not gonna look good. It's gonna burn the paint off. Same thing applies for your smoker. Doesn't matter if it's a pellet smoker, your Weber kettle, or your big offset. Wipe the stuff down, guys. It's gonna make it last a lot longer, and it'll keep it looking a lot nicer for a lot longer as well. So just maintain your stuff, guys. Okay, we take showers every day. I hope you all do. I know I do. And we need maintenance just like our grills. Okay, so make sure that you guys are out there wiping down your grills. You spill barbecue sauce on it, wipe it down immediately, because if you don't, guys, it's gonna mess with the paint. Okay, you're gonna pay for it later. So, which by the way, Yoda came out with a nice those of you guys that have a 640, a Yoda Y640 and a 480, I think, and even a 1500, they made this new, I think it's stainless steel shield that goes on the front of the smoker, where all the grease and stuff drips and the barbecue sauce sticks to the front of that smoker. They've made them, and I think they're really inexpensive. I think I'm gonna get one. I think the Yoda Y640 is probably $69, something like that. I'm gonna order one. So just to catch all that grease and stuff, so keep me from having to paint the front of my grill again. So let's chat, guys. I think any questions that you guys might have, any smoker questions or barbecue questions, or let's just chat. Rick's got that ceviche. Man, Rob D did a video yesterday. Check out his video. He did some ceviche. He didn't show how he made it, but it was already made. Then he made it with, he ate it with some tostadas and stuff. Man, that ceviche looked good, bro. Don't be nasty, says Rexy. They got the lights. Is that a curved monitor behind you? No, that's just a regular. That's just a regular flat screen TV, a 75-inch TV. Doesn't look like a 75-inch, right? It looks like a 19-inch TV. I guess my videos are just kind of looping. I don't know what's going on back there. It's kind of funny seeing myself on the screen. They got the originals. How about them Green Bay Packers? Says 589 barbecue. Man, bro, I got to tell you, I'm not happy with that, man. We could have won that game. Aaron Rodgers is out. We got a backup quarterback. Aaron Jones freaking ran over the Cowboys. Like as I mentioned earlier, he's from El Paso. he had he probably will never have a game like that in his life. He just had an amazing game. I lost track of how many freaking touchdowns he scored. Got to go clean my shit, says Rexy. Clean then Helga, says Rob Dizzle. Hey, T-Roy! What's going on, man? Good to see you on here, T-Roy. Appreciate that, man. I'm actually looking forward to cooking on it this Saturday, T-Roy. Got some Midland meat Wagyu brisket, and I got some beef ribs, and I got some beef back ribs, a whole rack. So that's going to be going in my smoker. And my cousin owns a sausage shop here in El Paso. I might hang some sausage in my pit as well. So it's going to be a big feast, man. It's going to be my first cook on it. So I'm going to make sure I do it big, man. I'm doing it for you guys too. So have some of my buddies over to enjoy some of that barbecue. It's going to be a good time, man. Good time for sure. But welcome, Mr. T-Roy. Good to have you, man. You know what, guys? T-Roy was a guy that again, I've been watching YouTube a long time. I never really left any comments, okay? I just kind of, and it was a different channel. It wasn't a different channel, but I was going under a different name. T-Roy had a Yoder back then, which I think he gave away to his son. So that's why I watched it. You know, I would watch him, and I would watch Joe from Southern Coastal Cooking because he had a Yoder. You know, I think Joe at Southern Coastal Cooking was a big reason why I got that Yoder Y640, because he had one. He actually used to cook, I think, in his backyard. He had a little area. It was he has a brick house, and he had it in the back. Man, so I fell in love with the way he cooks, and T-Roy cooks, and T-Roy cooks. Look at that. But, you know, fell in love with their channels a long time ago. A long time ago. T-Roy's been at this game for a long time, and so is Joe from Southern Coastal Cooking. I've been watching their channels for a very long time, and learned a lot of things for sure. So I don't know who's not following T-Roy, but check him out if you're not. If for some reason you just landed on this planet and you're not subscribed to T-Roy's channel, go check him out. Hit his name there, hit the little 3 dots, and you'll go right to his channel, subscribe to his channel. Yes, they do, T-Roy. And I know that you took a tour of that place as well. I saw that video been a couple years back. I think you went with Justin or Jason or whatever his name is, Baby Back Maniac. Man, now I can't even think of his name. Is it Jason or is it Justin? Plus, T-Roy's always making fun of him and calling him Justin when his name is Jason, or Jason when his name is Justin. I forget. But T-Roy and Baby Back Maniac, just to keep it easy, did a tour of the Yoder plant as well. So that's got to be pretty cool. You guys check out that video. Probably, I don't know, T-Roy, 4 or 5 years old, maybe, that video. All right, let me see. Have I ever heard of Chamizo Colorado wood? No, I haven't, bro. Is it like red oak, or what is that, Rick? It's Justin. Is it really Justin, or are you messing with me? I've had a couple of beers, so it's easy to mess with me right now. I think it is Justin. Yes, it is Justin. Yeah, three years old. Guys, I'm going to get me another beer, so hang tight. All right, I'm back. All right. Is it Justin? T-Roy saying, seriously, it's Justin. Okay, I believe you. I believe you, brother T-Roy. Got an ice cold Lone Star right out of the fridge. All right, so Rick says, I haven't So, Rick, I think it is, man. I think it's some kind of red oak, or I don't know what it is, but there's a one of my counterparts that lives in California says they're starting to use it in California. So find out, man. Let me know what that is, what they're calling that wood. I'm disappointed the fridge isn't a lot closer. It's right there, dude. The fridge is right there, like 5 feet away from me. Crisporito wood. What is that? Oh, whatever, dude. I can't believe I fell for that. I can't believe I said that. Crisporito wood. Be back in 3 minutes, says J&D. Oh yeah, I had to get out of my chair. So T-Roy says that red oak is used in Santa Maria cooking from Cali. Interesting. You know, I would think, I don't know, T-Roy, I don't know why I'm thinking red oak would be kind of pine, maybe like it's got that kind of pine flavor to it. I may be wrong, but so T-Roy says that red oak is used to cook up in Santa Maria's up in California. And Santa Maria's are pretty popular up there. I don't know if Joe from Black Hole Barbecue still in here. T-Roy, you know who that is. He does a lot of cooking on the Santa Maria. So I think California oak is oak. Okay. So I know that I've heard that red oak is being used up in California. I don't know, it's something new. Maybe they have an abundance of red oak up there, but I haven't used it. I don't know why I think that it's that red oak would taste like pine, but that's just me. I mean, I just never cooked with it, so I don't know anything about it. Oh, hang on, Russell. That I don't know if your comment. There it is. Somebody released your comment. No BS. I had my first tri-tip in a Santa Maria. Nice. I've got a couple of tri-tips in my deep freeze from Midland Meat Company. Some Wagyu. That's some good stuff. So red oak is the gold standard. Really? So there's a gentleman that would know. Greenhorn Barbecue. Man, so I don't. Is that something new up there, Todd? Or is it something that they've been doing for a while now? Because I have never heard of people smoking or cooking, maybe not smoking, but like Hiro says, Santa Maria style cooking with red oak. You'll be able to answer that question. Is it a new thing? Is it a something that's just started, or has it been going on for a while? I'm curious to know. Oh yeah. So that's that video where you didn't say a word. You were just cooking and letting the sounds of you cooking. Guys, check out that video. At first I thought, why would they upload this video with no sound? I need to call him and let him know that you can't hear him talking. It's just like the video playing. It's an ASMR video. So yeah, that's right, Todd. I do remember you didn't say it, but I remember you using that in that cook. So no, he says it's not new. He has lots of it. It's pretty common. Red oak is great for. Red oak is great. Lots of it in California. Okay. So he says that red oak burns hottest and the longest. I can see that. In fact, the table that I made for my garage, that I made out of this black pipe, it's made out of red oak, and it's beautiful. It is a beautiful piece of wood. I sanded it and I put some urethane on it, so it's a nice looking table. Mesquite bag. Thank you for that, Jacqueline and Dad. Guys, and Jacqueline and Dad just put a link to Victory Lane's website. I like to give my subscribers a discount. So if you guys are watching this chat and you follow me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, uh, shoot me a message, private message or direct message, whatever they call it these days, and I will give you a coupon code so you guys can get a discount on the rubs. You guys know that my favorite is the garlic jalapeno. That's some good stuff, and we're coming out with a couple of new rubs. So if you guys are looking for a discount on that stuff, let me know. I'll take care of you guys. Rick, that's a great question. I didn't mention that. So Rick, I got to tell you what I use. And one of my really popular videos is what I do to season my gateway drum. It's one of my early videos. That's got a ton of views on it. Well, I think a ton of views. Okay, I'm a small channel, so if I get 1,000 views, I think that's a lot. So that's when I season it. So I need to do one on what I clean it with. So Sam's sells this degreaser. It's like a food grade degreaser, if you will, and they sell them in 3 packs, and it comes with a sprayer. And so I'll take everything out of it. Okay, I'll take the basket, the the deflector plate, everything. I'll take everything out of it, and I'll spray it down with a degreaser. Now you have to be careful because if you get this on your paint, it'll discolor it. So just spray the inside, and it comes out like it's liquid, but when it comes through the sprayer, it turns into foam, and it just melts away all that grease. It's gonna turn the inside of that can like it was brand new. It'll be silver, like this kind of silver. Okay, it'll take all that junk off of there. So I'll let that sit for probably 20 minutes. Then I'll come back and I'll rinse it. Now, when you dump it, be careful because you don't want to get any of that to splash on your paint because it'll ruin it. And I'll rinse it several times. Okay, and then once it's completely dry, I will put some. I work for O'Reilly's. Okay, and if you watch that video where I season my gateway drum, I use this this absorbent. It's an oil absorbent, but it's a food grade oil absorbent. Okay, you can put maybe 1/4 of an inch on the bottom of your drum, and Rick, that's going to help you out, especially if you're doing a lot of cooks. You're doing something real fatty like a brisket. All that grease and stuff is going to fall on the bottom. You don't want it to catch fire, so the oil absorbent is going to absorb that grease. Okay, and keep the fire from, or your pit from burning up on the inside. So I'll lay about 1/4 of an inch of that oil dry, and it is a food grade oil absorbent. It even has a picture of barbecue grills on it. Put your basket on top of that, and you're ready to go. Okay. Now, if you're gonna cook on it, I would recommend maybe a light layer of oil. Cook on it. Let all that stuff burn out for probably 30 minutes before you put anything in it. But again, you're gonna cook on your grate, not on the walls of the drum, so you're gonna be fine. As long as you rinse it good with a good sprayer, you're gonna be fine, Rick. That's what I use. I think that's the easiest and best way that I found to clean the drum. Okay, real simple. And you know what? The gateway will tell you when it's time to clean it. The walls of that smoker start to look like a puzzle. Okay, where it's just layer upon layer of smoke and grease and stuff. So when you get to that point, clean it, because if you don't, all that stuff is heating up when you're putting charcoal in there. And that nasty stuff that's on the wall is going to land on your food, and your food's going to come out tasting a little bit funky, maybe a little not sour, but kind of tart. You know, it'll mess with the flavor of your protein. Okay, so just keep your drums clean. Proud Souls Barbecue, man. There's my boy right there. What's going on, Chris? Good to see you on the chat, man. Game meats venison or elk? I like elk. I'm not a big fan of venison, but elk, man. In fact, I've got some elk in my deep freeze. I've made elk sausage, or my cousin has made some elk sausage for me, and that stuff is amazing, guys. Elk, if you guys have never tried it, good stuff. Welcome, Chris, man. It's good to see you, buddy. Who said that? Somebody made a comment here. How's about you put Rick's video behind you? That way you can promote other channels. Yeah, let me see. Let me see if I can put Rick back there. That'd be cool, right? Let me see. Let me see if I can stop it. Hang on, guys. For some reason, my channel is the only one that comes out. Hang on, guys. I'll be right with you. Huh. I know, it's stuck on my channel. Yeah, I think I figured it out. Hang on. You guys want to see Rick? Rick on the big screen? Oh, look at that. It keeps going back to my. I like this TV. It only wants to show me for some reason. I don't know. I can talk to the TV, I think. Hang on. Let me see here. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Oh, hang on. I think it's coming up. Hang on, guys. What? I don't know. I'm not going to mess with it. See if anybody shows up here. Hey, look at that. Let's watch another guy that's live right now. There's Dash. All right, so let me see what we got here. Sorry, T-Roy, I couldn't put Rick, but yeah, Rick's in the chat. Check out his channel. No. No donkey shows. Yeah, there's Mr. Dash right there. He's live right now. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see. I'm getting some light on the screen there. Hey yo, it's Dash. All right, my computer just died, so I'm gonna have to just read the screen here. Yeah, Dash has got I got a man crush on his beard. All right, guys, I've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. I think that's quite a while, but I think I'm gonna end the chat. If you guys have any last questions, I'll answer them. Let me see. Let me see. Got a bunch of messages, private messages coming, probably asking me for that Victory Lane discount code. Dad Incredible, what's going on? Man, you missed a good chat, buddy. Dash has a hot light on his bare head, he says. My light bulb is shining off of Dash's forehead. That's hilarious. All right, guys. Again, I've been on it for an hour and 15 minutes. Enjoy chatting with you guys as I do Wednesdays, my Hump Day chats. Thanks for tuning in. Again, tune in to my channel on Saturday, probably Saturday night. I'm going to upload the new video where I cook on my brand new Yoder Frontiersman. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to fire that thing up and start cooking on it. You know, the Midland meat briskets and ribs are going to be amazing. I'll try not to mess it up against my first cook on it. It's going to be hard for me to mess it up, but look out for that video. Should be fun. I know I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. It's my first cook on it, but good chat with you guys tonight. Appreciate everything. Appreciate the questions, the funny stuff that you guys are doing. Did I paint my garage floor? Actually, when I bought the house, it came that way. I'll show you real quick. See that finish on the floor there? Those my seats that I was telling you guys about. But my floor came like that. And now I had a Camaro here that I used to race a long time ago, and so I got tire marks and stuff in here, some grease stains, but hey, it's a man cave, I don't want it to look like a beauty salon. So yeah, my floor is done. But maybe down the road I'll epoxy the floor again. Guys, again, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Good hanging out with you guys. Till next time, guys. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.